Picture this. A man who hasn't called Canada home in over a decade, clutching 3 passports like a globalist magpie, is poised to waltz into the Prime Minister's office without ever facing a single voter. Mark Carney, the Liberal Party's golden boy, is being gift-wrapped the leadership of Canada in a move so blatant it's practically a middle finger to democracy. The Liberals, desperate to cling to power after years of scandals and missteps, have rigged the game to crown an unelected, absentee technocrat as their savior. And if Canadians don't wake up and smell the maple-flavored manipulation, we're about to get stuck with a Prime Minister who thinks residency is just a suggestion. Let's start with the absurdity of it all. The Liberal Party of Canada has its own rules for leadership candidates, rules they've wielded like a cudgel against anyone daring to challenge their chosen one. One of those rules? A candidate must have resided in Canada for at least 183 days. It's not a high bar, just over 6 months of breathing Canadian air, eating poutine, and pretending to care about hockey. Yet Mark Carney, the former Bank of Canada governor turned international jet-setter, hasn't lived here in over 10 years. A decade. That's longer than most marriages last, and certainly longer than Justin Trudeau's patience with dissenters. By the Liberals' own standards, Carney shouldn't even be in the running, so why is he still the front runner? Because the fix is in, and the Liberals don't care who notices. Contrast this with how they've treated other candidates. Dhalla, a former MP who is gaining traction, some say neck and neck with Carney in internal polling, got the boot faster than you can say foreign interference. The Liberals trotted out vague, unproven claims about a non-Canadian citizen meddling in her campaign, a charge so flimsy it's laughable. As the Toronto Sun pointed out, the party leaked the story to the CBC before even bothering to tell Dhalla herself, citing a secret source and a secret process. Convenient, isn't it? When you're losing ground to a scrappy outsider who threatens the anointed heir, just conjure up some shadowy allegations and call it a day.
Well, I think it speaks to the state of the Liberal Party of Canada that a candidate who is running to become leader of the party, who is running to become prime minister in our country, is finding out that she has been disqualified on air from an email that the media outlet that she is interviewing with has received. So it is very alarming and very shocking. It is certainly not surprising, because I think the Liberal Party of Canada was seeing exactly what our internal polls are telling us, that my campaign and my team, we were neck to neck with a front runner in the race. They did not want me to go on to that debate stage in Montreal. They certainly did not want me on that ballot. And the Liberal Party of Canada wanted to complete the coronation of Mark Carney. All of the allegations that you have mentioned have been, that you have spoken about, they are completely false. They are fabricated.
Dhalla called it what it was, false and fabricated, a desperate move to keep her off the debate stage and away from the ballot. She's right, this stinks of a setup. Then there's Chandra Arya, the Nepean MP who was the first to throw his hat in the ring. He got disqualified too, but the Liberals couldn't even muster a decent excuse. Was it because he doesn't speak French? Maybe. Was it because he dared to question the party's sacred cows like their limp response to foreign interference? Possibly. As we noted, Arya's ejection was shrouded in mystery. No public explanation, just a quiet shove out the door. The party's rules allow them to nix anyone they deem manifestly unfit, a phrase so vague it could mean anything from owns too many cats to doesn't kiss Trudeau's ring. Whatever the real reason, Arya's ousting sent a clear message: step out of line, and you're gone. But Mark Carney? Oh, he's untouchable. Never mind that he's been gallivanting around the world, England, the United States, wherever the World Economic Forum needs him, while Canadians have been slogging through inflation, housing crises, and Trudeau's endless photo ops. Carney hasn't been a resident here for 183 days, not even close. By the Liberals' own playbook, he's ineligible. Yet instead of facing the same scrutiny as Dhalla or Arya, he's being ushered to the throne with a red carpet and a brass band. Why? Because he's Mark freaking Carney, central banker extraordinaire, darling of the global elite, and the Liberals' last hope to keep their grip on power. This isn't just hypocrisy, it's a scandal masquerading as a leadership race. The Liberals have already decided Carney's their guy, and they'll bend, break, or outright ignore their own rules to make it happen. Dhalla's disqualification came right after she paid the final chunk of the $350,000 entry fee. Coincidence? Hardly. She was building momentum, threatening Carney's coronation, so they found a flimsy pretext to kneecap her. Arya, meanwhile, was dispatched early, likely because he didn't fit the polished, bilingual mold the party brass fetishizes. But Carney, who's been AWOL from Canada for over a decade, gets a free pass. It's not a race, it's a rigged game show, and the prize is the country. Canadians should be livid. This isn't how democracy works, or at least it's not how it's supposed to. The Liberal Party's leadership process is meant to give members a voice, not to serve as a rubber stamp for an unelected outsider. Carney's never faced a ballot box, never had to answer to voters, never even bothered to live among us for the past 10 years. Yet here he is, raking in $1.9 million in campaign funds, far more than Dhalla's paltry $144,880, while the party faithful cheer like he's the second coming of Lester B. Pearson. It's a slap in the face to every Canadian who believes in accountability, transparency, and, actually showing up. The Liberals' excuse machine is already in overdrive. They'll say Carney's a global leader, and that his time abroad makes him uniquely qualified to steer Canada through turbulent times. Baloney. What it makes him is a carpetbagger, a guy who's been too busy hobnobbing with Davos elites to care about the price of groceries in Saskatoon. If residency doesn't matter for Carney, why does it matter for anyone else? Why enforce rules against Dhalla and Arya but give Carney a hall pass? The answer's simple: power. The Liberals are terrified of losing it, and they'll do anything, smear campaigns, rule-bending, outright lies to keep their hands on the levers. It's time for Canadians to call BS. The Liberal Party's own rules demand 183 days of residency, and Carney doesn't meet that threshold. If they can disqualify Dhalla over unproven whispers and Arya over some unspoken sin, then they damn well better disqualify Carney for breaking a clear, written rule. Anything less is proof this whole process is a sham, a coronation dressed up as a contest. We should be flooding the streets X and every MP's inbox demanding fairness. If Carney's in, then bring back Dhalla and Arya too. If he's out, then let's have a real race, not a preordained handover. The Liberals have gotten away with too much for too long. Scandals like SNC-Lavalin, We Charity, and now this leadership farce. They're betting on our apathy, counting on us to shrug and let Carney slide into 24 Sussex like it's no big deal. But it is a big deal. It's our country, our future, and we deserve better than a party so drunk on power it'll crown an absentee king just to save itself. Open your eyes, Canada. The Liberals aren't just fixing the election. They're stealing it in broad daylight. And if we don't push back, Mark Carney will be laughing all the way from London to Ottawa while we're left wondering how we let it happen. If you like what you just saw, remember to smash that like button, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it would help us out a lot if you did.